Hello, I'm Rick Hebron. We're learning the Hebrew alphabet and learning some words to reinforce the letters as we go. So far we have learned these letters: Aleph, Bet, and also Vet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Yud, Lamed, Mem, and Nun Sophiet, which is sometimes called final mem. Last week we learned two letters. We got credit for one. We learned the mem, which in script looks like this, and in block looks like this. We learned mem. This week we're going to learn two letters. We'll get credit for one. We'll learn nun, which has the sound of The script nun looks like that. The block nun looks like that. And in modern Hebrew classes, we use script. In biblical Hebrew classes, we use block. But in the biblical Hebrew class that I was in, the teacher didn't like this letter, and he asked us to write it like that. To learn why, we are introduced to a letter in session 12, which we haven't gotten to yet, that we have to be able to distinguish from this. So with nun, we learn the word nach, which means rest or rests. It's a verb. Nach, rest, rests, which is a masculine verb. And nacha, same verb but in the feminine. This word here, nach, which means rests, I like to point out that in Genesis 5:28 and 29, they talk about the birth of Noah, which in Hebrew is pronounced Noach. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noach and said, "He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." So Noah was named Rest because it was good to have a son on the farm as the parents grew older. Another word that uses nun is gina. Which would be a small garden. We have nach, we have nacha, we have gina. We can practice writing these. Nach, 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 nacha, gina, gina. We practice writing and we talk to ourselves as we write. It helps to cement these words in as we're learning them. Next we'll learn the letter Nun Sophiet. It's another nun, but when the nun occurs at the end of a word, you have to use this form. And I'm going to draw the ruling on the page. It's going to fit in there. So the script, Nun Sophiet, will look like this. It'll extend below the line And the block Nun Sophiet might have a little thing on the top, very small, and it'll extend below the line too. Nun Sophiet. Some people might call it a final nun, has the same sound. So with the final nun, or the Nun Sophiet, let's take a word. The word for garden, or a big garden, a formal garden, or a park would be gan. Gan. Try it. Gan. Gan. What if we put this with the word for children? The word children. Gan. Yeladim. Gan Yeladim. A garden of children. Kindergarten. I showed this to the Hebrew class, and one of the students said, that's where we are. We're in kindergarten, in the Hebrew class. Gan Yeladim. Another word, Adon. Means Mr. or Sir. I've seen it used as a name of God also. Adon. Write it. You can use it as a title, like a person might call me Adon Hebron, Mr. Hebron. Adon. Another word that uses the Nun Sophiet would be ein. Ein means there is not. Ein, there is not. A little bit like the English word ain't, which isn't really a correct word, but means about the same thing. Ein, there is not. And in Hebrew, they don't have a word to have. If you look up the word have, well, they don't really have that word. But they use it, they have to say it indirectly. So they can say, there is not to me. And that means I don't have. Incidentally, Arabic is the same way. They also don't have a word to have. And they say it indirectly, much like this. And so I don't have. Would be ein li. Li. The lamed by itself in a prefix kind of means to. There is not to me. Ein li. So li would mean to me. Lo means to him. La, to her. Li, to me. Lo, to him. La, to her. So you could say ein li, I don't have. Ein lo, he does not have. Ein la, she does not have. And we're saying it indirectly. There is not to me, there is not to him, there is not to her. While we're dealing with ein li, ein la, and ein lo, what if we say, I don't have a camel? How would we say that? Ein li gamal. I don't have a camel. There is not to me a camel. Another word that uses the Nun Sophiet would be amen. Amen. And in the book it says that it means amen. That's kind of circular. Amen means amen. What does amen mean? In Hebrew class at the University of Washington, I was told that amen means it is believed. And I went, aha, so that's what it means. And further, there's a congregation down in California called Beit Emunah. Emunah is from the same root. It has the same meaning. And they translate the house of faith. And also Maimonides, back in the 11th century, had a saying, Ani ma'amin be'emunah shlema beviat HaMashiach. Ani ma'amin, I believe. So this gives you a little more feel for what amen means. A while back I told you a parrot joke, because when you're studying languages you do a lot of parroting, trying to sound exactly like a native speaker. Well, I also like grammar jokes. And one time the teacher came and knocked on the door of the house, and little 7-year-old Johnny was there, and he answered the door. The teacher said, "Is your mother home?" Johnny said, "She ain't here." "Is your father home?" "He ain't here neither." The teacher looked sternly down at him and said, "Young man, where is your grammar?" Little boy said, "Oh, she's upstairs." Your homework for this session, go to page 27. On the top of the page, fill in the blanks. For the bottom, translate. Page 30, in the top, fill in the blanks. At the bottom, there's matching. Pages 28 and 29, there's a crossword puzzle. You can do it if you want. Have fun with it. If you have Pimsleur Hebrew and you can do it, it's great. I do Pimsleur every day. I don't study Hebrew with Pimsleur. I know too much Hebrew to do that, I guess. But I study other languages. It's fun. You can do it while you walk. You can do it while you garden, while you're washing dishes, puttering around the house. Do Pimsleur Hebrew. We'll see you next session. Thank you.